Commander Velkov stood in the ceremonial reception chamber, his battle armor gleaming. Today, humanity would finally bow. The massive doors began their slow, dramatic opening. Velkov straightened, ready for Earth's greatest warrior. Instead, he got someone wearing flip-flops. "Oh, hey there," the human said, wandering in with a half-eaten KFC hot dog and a large soda. "This the war meeting? I'm Marcus Throne. Sorry I'm late. Traffic was insane." A profound silence filled the chamber. Velkov's eye twitched, taking in the casual shorts, faded t-shirt, and slapping flip-flops. "You," Velkov said slowly, his voice echoing, "are not dressed appropriately." "Oh, this?" Marcus glanced down. "Nah, armor chafes. Plus, figured this wouldn't take long." Murmurs of shock rippled through the council. Zeptar, Velkov's nervous aide, whispered frantically, "Commander, the summons requested full battle dress." "Heard the summons," Marcus cheerfully interrupted. "But see, I'm not really a warrior, more of a problem solver. And honestly, your problem doesn't need armor." Velkov's weapon systems hummed. "Human, you stand before the Supreme Military Tribunal. Show respect." "I am showing respect," Marcus said, biting his hot dog. "I showed up, didn't I? On time-ish, and I brought my own food so I wouldn't be hangry. Very respectful." "This is not a negotiation. This is a tribunal. You answer for humanity's crimes," Velkov boomed. Marcus paused mid-chew. "Crimes? What crimes?" Velkov gestured to the view screen. "Your people destroyed 3 of our patrol ships." "Ah, that." Marcus waved his hot dog dismissively. "Not a crime. That was a safety recall." The silence deepened. "A safety recall?" Zeptar ventured. "Yeah, hyperdrive coupling flaw. Dangerous. Sent like 6 warnings, but nobody replies to my emails. Had to initiate emergency shutdown before someone got hurt." Velkov's eye twitched harder. "You disabled our ships?" "Disabled is ugly. I prefer temporarily inconvenienced pending mandatory safety upgrades." Marcus crumpled his hot dog wrapper. "Trash can? This place is fancy but not user-friendly." The wrapper crinkled on the ceremonial floor like thunder. "Human," Velkov roared, "you dare defile this sacred space?" "Rude, and I asked for a trash can. Third, maybe we should discuss why your sacred space uses stolen Andromedan architecture mixed with knockoff Terran engineering." That got everyone. Velkov's hum stopped. Zeptar dropped his pad. Even the air recyclers paused. "What did you say?" Velkov whispered. "Gravitational stabilizers," Marcus said casually, examining a panel. "3rd-gen human design, but you're running them at 60% efficiency with the wrong power matrix. And this," he tapped another section, "Andromedan crystal work, but not calibrated for this ship's mass." He smiled at the stunned aliens. "Fine for basic stuff, but if you needed to outrun a quantum storm or fight, you'd lose power and drift." Velkov stared. "How do you know this trade secret?" "Trade secret," Marcus winked. "But speaking of secrets, maybe we should discuss the real reason for this meeting." Velkov straightened. "This tribunal is for your species' blatant disregard for galactic law." "Nah," Marcus said, settling into a ceremonial chair, making council members gasp. "The real reason is your entire military strategy relies on tech you don't understand, from contractors you've never met, maintained by engineers you've never heard of. And 6 months ago, you started asking questions about where it all came from." Silence, only the soft slap of Marcus's flip-flop against his heel. "Impossible," Velkov said, conviction gone. "Is it?" Marcus tapped his tablet. "Quantum flux capacitors, Throne engineering solutions, hyperdrive algorithms, Throne labs, defensive grid protocols." He looked up. "Also, Throne engineering. See a pattern?" Zeptar's voice was a squeak. "Throne engineering?" Marcus said, "Family business. Started by my grandma, expanded by my mom, now me. primary military contractor for 60% of known space. Last 30 years. Velkov's weapon systems whined like dying animals. You're lying. Am I? Marcus's fingers danced. I'm looking at your ship's diagnostic data right now, accessing it because every major piece of hardware on this vessel was made with Throne Engineering telemetry. Your reactor is 15 degrees too hot. Grab stabilizers are off. Someone's tried to jerry-rig power to weapons without authorization. Velkov stepped back. How are you accessing our systems? I designed them, Marcus said simply. Technically, I redesigned the systems my mom designed, which were improvements on my grandma's originals. Family tradition. He walked to the view screen. What's really interesting is someone's been trying to crack security on 40 worlds in this sector. Same signature, same methods, all targeting Throne Engineering systems. The view screen flickered to life. Network logs, security alerts, breach attempts. Data scrolled too fast for most. Marcus read it like a book. You know what this looks like to me? He mused. Looks like someone's planning a big war, and they're trying to disable all the safety systems that keep their weapons from, accidentally destroying their own ships? Velkov's eye twitched violently. Routine maintenance scans. Sure they are. Marcus turned to the uncomfortable council. Just like it was routine maintenance when you tested your new battle formations by positioning your fleet in an aggressive attack pattern around the Sol system last week. Zeptar fainted. Now, Marcus continued, returning to his chair, one flip-flop halfway to the floor, and smiled. Or I could spend hours explaining how badly you've misunderstood human military capabilities and the galactic power balance. Or... He paused, one flip-flop halfway to the floor, and smiled. We could settle this the traditional way. Velkov's eye narrowed. Traditional way. Single combat, Marcus cheerfully offered. Your way, your rules, your weapons. Winner takes all. Velkov's laugh grated. Human. I've trained for 700 years, conquered 17 worlds, never defeated. Cool, Marcus said. I've played recreational soccer since I was 6. Should be fun. Velkov's laugh died. Soccer? A human sport? Tactical, lots of running. Marcus shrugged. If I'm fighting in flip-flops, might as well stick to what I know. The absurdity broke something in Velkov's brain. You're challenging me to ritual combat in recreational footwear? Sounds silly when you put it that way, Marcus admitted. But hey, you wanted honor and tradition. I'm working with what I've got. You demanded I dress for war. Flip-flops are practical, comfy, and make a satisfying sound, he demonstrated. Slap, slap, slap. Very intimidating, he grinned. Velkov stared, cycling through confusion, rage, and a flicker of understanding. You're insane. Probably, Marcus agreed. But I'm also who's kept your civilization from accidentally blowing itself up for 30 years. So maybe it's not so bad. He looked at the council. So, easy way? Everyone admits humans are the galaxy's unofficial peacekeepers, and we move forward. Or hard way? I explain why fighting Earth is the worst tactical decision ever. Velkov's hand went to his badge. You think you can walk in here dressed like a tourist? Marcus offered helpfully. A tourist? Velkov exploded. And threatened the most powerful military force in known space? Marcus considered. Well, I already did. We're having this conversation, aren't we? The truth hit Velkov like a blow. He looked at his counselors, seeing doubt, fear, even suppressed laughter. The challenge stands, he finally said, voice tight. Single combat, traditional weapons, victory or death. Okay, not really into the death part. How about victory or, I don't know, you buy me dinner. Great place on Proxima Centauri. Velkov's eyes twitched. This is not a joke, human. I know. Marcus' tone became serious. Trust me, I know exactly how serious this is. The question is, do you? They stared at each other. Velkov, armored, Marcus, in flip-flops. Between them, the gulf between their understanding of power. Very well, Velkov said. Ancient arena. Tomorrow. Traditional hour. Prepare yourself, human. I am already, Marcus said, smoothing his t-shirt.
"Oh, Commander, run a full diagnostic on your ship's weapons tonight. Just a precaution. Wouldn't want malfunctions tomorrow." As the doors closed, Marcus looked back. "Nice badge, by the way. Very shiny. Bet it would look great with casual wear." The doors sealed, leaving quiet, thoughtful aliens and one unconscious aide.
The ancient arena was a monument to 10,000 years of military tradition, carved from an asteroid. Today, the viewing platforms were packed. Word of the human and flip-flops challenging Velkov had spread. In the preparation chambers, Velkov completed his sacred rituals. His armor was blessed, his weapons consecrated. He was ready. 3 levels down, in the guest prep facility, Marcus was arguing with the weapons master about Wi-Fi. "Just basic connectivity," Marcus said, waving his tablet. "How else do I check email?" The weapons master, Deathbringer who seeks sharp things, stared. "You face the Supreme Commander and you wish to check electronic messages?" "Multitasking," Marcus explained. "Human trait, plus engineering updates from home. Speaking of which, all these toys necessary? Most violate 17 safety regs." Deathbringer made a sound that might have been laughter. "Safety regulations do not apply in the sacred arena, human. Only victory matters." "Wrong," Marcus said, picking up a ceremonial blade. "Safety applies everywhere. People just don't link safety protocols to tactical superiority." He examined the sword. "Beautiful, but weight distribution's off, grip fatigue in 10 minutes. Deathbringer leaned in, intrigued. "You understand weapon design?" "I understand engineering." Marcus set the sword down, picking up an energy pistol. "And engineering is just applied physics with better marketing." He pointed it at the floor and pulled the trigger. Nothing. "Safety's on. Good. But the power coupling uses a throne engineering interface, which means—" Marcus fiddled with the handle. The pistol hummed with enough energy to make Deathbringer step back. "How did you—" "Trade secret," Marcus winked. "But most ancient warrior tech here was probably made in my company's factories." He looked around. "Actually, this whole arena setup's familiar. Energy containment, gravity manipulation, spectator barriers." He tapped his tablet. "Here it is. Arena Construction Contract 847B. 50 years ago. Primary contractor, Throne Engineering Solutions." Deathbringer's voice was a whisper. "You built this place?" "Mom did. I supervised." Marcus grinned. "Means I know where all the access panels are hidden." Above them, ceremonial horns sounded. Combat was imminent. "Human," Deathbringer said slowly. "I've overseen 300 ritual combats. Never seen anyone approach potential death with such casual confidence." "Not approaching death," Marcus said, heading for the tunnel. "Approaching inevitable victory. Big difference." "Oh, and you might want to evacuate the lower viewing platforms, just in case." "In case of what?" Marcus's smile was bright and terrifying. "In case I demonstrate why humans don't need armor to win wars." Light filled the tunnel. Marcus walked towards it, flip-flop slapping ancient stone. Behind him, Deathbringer frantically activated decades unused emergency protocols.
The arena fell silent. Velkov strode out, gleaming weapons arrayed. The crowd roared. This was their might. Marcus wandered out like he was looking for a bathroom, still in flip-flops, tablet in hand. The absurdity killed the roar. Whispers rippled. Is he fighting in that? Psychological warfare? Insane? The combat coordinator, an ancient being, looked like he was having an existential crisis. "Human, select your weapons." "Right." Marcus looked at the weapon racks. "Anything in lightweight aluminum? Comfy grip?" Velkov laughed. "Choose well, human. They'll be the last tools you hold." Marcus surveyed the racks like shopping for kitchenware. All heavy-duty, traditional, compensatory.
He picked up a warhammer heavier than him. Nice for intimidation, terrible for hitting anything faster than a glacier. Back on the rack. Laser sword, flashy but ridiculous power consumption, 20 minutes combat time. Back on the rack. This, a projectile rifle? So sad. Chemically propelled solid rounds. What is this, the Dark Ages? Velkov looked offended. Those weapons represent 10,000 years of military evolution. Evolution doesn't always go right. Sometimes you get the platypus. He continued critiquing, rejecting. The crowd grew restless. This wasn't combat. It was a surreal shopping trip. Human, Velkov roared, select your weapons or face me unarmed. Unarmed works, Marcus said, abandoning the racks. Still never liked the traditional approach anyway. He walked to the center, tablet in hand. Ladies, gentlemen, and assorted non-binary entities, what you're about to see is the fundamental difference between military technology and military thinking. Velkov drew his energy blade. Enough games, human. Face me. Oh, I am facing you. Just not the way you expected. He tapped his tablet. All the lights in the arena went out. Emergency power kicked in 3 seconds later, bathing the floor in dim red. In those 3 seconds, everything changed. Velkov was on his back, weapon gone. Marcus sat cross-legged beside him, tablet still in hand. You think, Velkov started. Advantage of designing the building, Marcus said conversationally. I know where all the gravity manipulation controls are. He showed his tablet, a schematic covered in blinking lights. When you said traditional way, I figured that meant using every available resource for victory with minimal casualties. Very traditional human approach. Velkov struggled up, armor awkward. You sabotaged the arena. I optimized it, Marcus corrected. Sabotage implies malice. Optimization implies making something better. He gestured around at flickering, humming systems. I rerouted power from spectator comfort to boost motion sensors. Now I track your every move. He showed the tablet. Velkov's movements as colored lines. Adjusted atmosphere, too, for human reflexes, slightly impacting your species' respiratory system. Nothing dangerous, just leveling the playing field. Velkov finally stood, sluggish. This is cheating. This is engineering, Marcus said, rising fluidly. And if this impresses you, wait until you see the defensive systems. He tapped his tablet. The energy barriers suddenly contracted, forming a 10-meter cage around them. Velkov was cramped face to face with the human. The thing about traditional combat, Marcus said unbothered, is that it assumes equal resources, but equality is just another engineering problem. Velkov swung, a blow that should have been too fast, too powerful. Marcus wasn't there. Combat prediction algorithms, he explained from behind Velkov. Your martial arts are traditional, formal, predictable, like reading a script. Velkov spun, weapons charging, but Marcus moved again. Plus, your armor is impressive, but it's for intimidation and protection, not mobility. All that ceremonial plating makes you slow. This time, when Velkov struck, Marcus didn't just avoid. He used Velkov's momentum, applying pressure at the right point to send the massive alien tumbling into the energy barrier. It sparked, holding, leaving Velkov dazed and embarrassed. And that, Marcus said, not even breathing hard, is why humans don't need armor. He looked at the fascinated crowd. Most species think superiority means bigger weapons, stronger armor, elaborate tactics. But humans figured out long ago the best way to win a fight is to make sure it's not a fair fight. Velkov struggled up, armor sparking. Impossible. You are one human against the galactic military. Yeah, about that. Marcus pulled up a new display on his tablet, a real-time tactical overview of the Council fleet. It took a moment for the crowd to understand. Ships were everywhere. Not dreadnoughts, but smaller, sleeker vessels, almost invisible, positioned strategically. Their ID codes broadcasting, silencing every alien. Earth Defense Force, Marcus said cheerfully, just keeping an eye out in case the peaceful negotiation thing didn't work. Velkov stared. There are hundreds of them? Thousands? Actually, these are just the ones we're letting you see. The others are strategically positioned. He zoomed in, revealing formations surrounding key council vessels. See, while you planned your tribunal, we planned a different kind of meeting.
The tablet shifted. Comm logs, supply manifests, intelligence reports on council installations. Turns out, when you've been the primary contractor for most of galactic civilization's military tech, you learn a lot about how that civilization actually works. Velkov's voice was a whisper. How long have you been watching? About 30 years. How long ready for this scenario? About 6 months. How long in position to neutralize us without firing a shot? Marcus checked his tablet. About 3 hours. He looked at Velkov with something like sympathy. You never had a chance, Commander. This was never about combat or honor. It was about power. And the uncomfortable truth is humans have been the real power in this galaxy for decades. You just didn't know it. The arena was utterly silent. So, Marcus continued, we can do this 2 ways. Option 1, you accept the old order is over. We work together to build something better. Everyone goes home happy. Option 2, I demonstrate exactly why fighting Earth is the worst tactical decision in military history. He gestured to the display where human ships shifted into more aggressive positions. I'm hoping for option 1. Option 2 involves a lot of paperwork. Velkov stared, then at the display, then back at Marcus. His hand slowly moved to his ceremonial badge. You planned all this, he said. Every detail, Marcus confirmed, except the flip-flops. Last-minute decision. Everything else, yeah, been in the works for a while. Velkov's fingers closed on his badge. And if I refuse, Marcus's expression became grim. Then you'll discover why every other species in the galaxy whispers about humans in the dark. And Commander, you really don't want that. They stood, facing each other in the contracted cage surrounded by the silent crowd. On the screens, human superiority unfolded. Slowly, Velkov began to remove his badge. Humans? We were never the junior species, were we? Nope. We were the ones keeping everyone else from accidentally destroying themselves. Turns out most civilizations are bad at large-scale engineering. Lots of safety shortcuts. Lots of good enough thinking. The badge clicked free. But why? Why hide your capabilities? Why let us believe we were in control? Marcus smiled, not entirely friendly, because the best way to keep the peace is to make sure everyone thinks they're winning. You felt important and powerful. We made sure nobody accidentally blew up the galaxy. Win-win. Until you got aggressive and forced this confrontation. Velkov stared at the badge, symbol of his world, then at the human in flip-flops who had dismantled his entire civilization's foundation. What happens now? Now? Marcus took the badge, pinning it to his t-shirt. It looked ridiculous, yet perfectly fitting. Now we go back to how things were, but with more honesty about who's actually in charge. He tapped his tablet. The arena systems returned to normal. Oh, and we need a serious talk about your fleet maintenance. Some ships are on protocols expired years ago. Very dangerous. The crowd stirred. Will there be consequences? Velkov asked. Marcus considered. Lots of paperwork, awkward diplomatic meetings, major revisions to military doctrine, but if everyone is reasonable, we avoid actual unpleasantness. He walked towards the exit, flip-flop slapping. Oh, Commander! Next time someone shows up to your war meeting in casual clothes, consider they might know something you don't. Marcus vanished, leaving a chamber of quiet, thoughtful aliens, and one former Supreme Commander realizing the galaxy had been running on human sufferance longer than anyone cared to admit.
The aftermath was surprisingly bureaucratic. Within hours of the arena incident, emergency administrative meetings were called across council space. You discover your civilization depended on one species' engineering for decades? Lots of forms. Marcus found himself in conference room 847C, surrounded by nervous alien bureaucrats. He had his Wi-Fi password now, catching up on email while officials tried to restructure galactic government. So, said Counselor Blickstar, a nervous amphibian, to clarify, humanity has been the primary military contractor for roughly 60% of known space for 30 years? 63%, actually, Marcus said, not looking up. But who's counting? And during this time you were what, exactly? Monitoring, keeping you from accidentally destroying yourselves, Marcus replied.
Any idea how many near-miss extinction events this galaxy had in the last decade? 17, all from engineering incompetence. He pulled up a file. Great quantum cascade of 2387? Zephyrians trying to build a faster-than-light comm array without proper containment. We disabled it remotely to prevent space-time collapse. Blickstar's skin cycled through stress colors. The Zephyrians reported that as a natural phenomenon. Of course, Marcus said, returning to email. You'd have meant you almost erased your star system? Or the hegemony's mysterious power failures last year. That was us stopping their new planetary defense grid from overloading and sterilizing their homeworld. A crystalline counselor spoke. Are you saying humanity has been protecting us? I'm saying humanity's been doing cleanup, Marcus corrected. Big difference. Protection means we're trying to help. Cleanup means we're stopping you from breaking things we'd have to fix. The room fell silent. However, he continued, that'll change now that everyone knows. Velkov, still armored but badgeless, finally spoke. What do you mean? Marcus set his tablet down. The humans hiding in the background strategy only works when everyone thinks they're in charge. Cat's out of the bag. We need to be more direct. He walked to the main display, a tactical overview of galactic space. Galactic stability needs a delicate balance of power, resources, and ego. Everyone needs to feel important. But modern civilization is one big, complicated machine. It needs maintenance, oversight, and sometimes percussive repair techniques. Percussive repair? Blickstar weakly asked. Hitting things until they work right, Marcus explained cheerfully. Very effective, not always diplomatic. Until now, we did maintenance quietly. A software update, a safety recall, a mysterious malfunction to prevent catastrophic stupidity. The display showed incident reports, intervention logs. But now that everyone knows we're keeping the lights on, we'll probably have to start charging. The silence was profound. Charging? The crystalline counselor whispered. Yeah, Marcus said. Think we did this out of the goodness of our hearts? Maintaining galactic civilization is expensive. Cost of monitoring stations, rapid response teams? He pulled up a spreadsheet. The numbers were significant. For 30 years, Throne Engineering ate these costs as a public service. Now that operations aren't classified, we run it like a business. Velkov's voice was hollow. How much? Marcus studied the sheet. Basic maintenance and emergency intervention around, let's see, carry the one, adjust for inflation. The number on screen made several counselors faint. Per month, Marcus added helpfully. The remaining counselors stared in horror. The amount equaled several major star systems' GDP. Impossible, Blickstar stammered. No civilization can afford that. That's the thing, Marcus said, returning to his chair. You've been paying these rates. You just didn't know. He tapped his tablet. Trade agreements, licensing deals, resource charts. Throne Engineering subsidized stability through a complex web of economic relationships. We sold tech below market, provided free maintenance, manipulated trade to prevent economic collapse. The display zoomed into trade routes. But that was when we were invisible. Now, we restructure. He looked at the terrified faces. Don't worry, we're not unreasonable. Significant discount for existing customers. How significant? Velkov asked. Marcus smiled. It depends on how cooperative everyone is with the new management structure. New management structure? Blickstar's skin cycled through impossible colors. Oh, didn't I mention? As of today, Throne Engineering is the official coordinator of galactic military and civilian infrastructure. Think of us as consultants with veto power over major policy decisions. I'm wearing the Supreme Commander's badge. By your laws, that makes me the ranking military authority in council space. The room erupted, shouting, frantic calls. One alien tried to escape through a vent. Marcus waited. Look, he said, finally. Big adjustment. Change is hard, but think, for the first time in decades, you know who's in charge. No more mysterious malfunctions. No more guessing the real power balance. He packed his tablet into a canvas bag.
Our legal department will send new contract terms. Get them signed in 48 hours. Lots to do. Marcus paused at the door. One more thing. That fleet you sent to intimidate Earth last week, they need to go home. Sol system parking violations are expensive. Fees double after 72 hours. He walked out, leaving a room full of beings grasping that their galactic power structure had been wrong for generations. In the corridor, Marcus opened a new message. "Hey, Mom, remember how you said I should go into the family business?" He paused, thinking how to explain becoming de facto ruler of known space in flip-flops with a KFC hot dog. "I think I'm going to need a bigger office. Also, maybe we should start charging for galactic-level IT support. Apparently everyone's been on a free trial for 30 years. Big project coming up. No more accidental black holes. Wish me luck. Love you." He hit send. Behind him, bureaucratic panic echoed. Across the galaxy, the news spread. Humanity had stepped out of the shadows. For the first time in 30 years, everyone finally knew who was really in charge, not through conquest, but through superior intellect, practical problem-solving, and the quiet, persistent work of ensuring the universe didn't accidentally destroy itself.